All right, so here we have our next problem. And so what we had just done, we've done a series of problems where we've been looking at beams. But you can also apply this to shafts. Say in a motor, in an engine, you have a drive shaft, camshaft. Pick a shaft that you have, you can apply this same idea. So here I have a long shaft. So let's see, 18-foot long shaft. All right. And so what I have is along the shaft, I have a uniform load of 100 pounds per foot. So over 6 feet, this would be 600 pounds. I have a point load right here of 600 pounds. And then in the back end, I have another 600 distributed load. So if you have a shaft, so the idea is the shaft is rotating, all right? To hold the shaft in place, you need bearings. We have two kinds of bearings we're looking at here. This is a thrust bearing. This is a sleeve bearing. I've listed, so that's obvious. But what's the difference between them? When we had our beams, we had a pin joint where it both supported it in the Y and it held it steady in the X. This is what a thrust bearing does. A thrust bearing obviously holds the bearing up in the air and keeps it in alignment in terms of the Y, but it also doesn't let it slide, so it holds it in place. And this is the symbol for a thrust bearing. Okay, a sleeve bearing is like the expansion joint we had on our beam. It supports in the Y, but that's all it does. It can exert no force in the X. It can exert no torque either. All right. All it does, it's just an expansion joint, and the shaft is welcome to expand through it and contract. All right. It just holds it up, keeps it in alignment in the air. Okay. That's a sleeve bearing. So conceptually, this is the exact same thing as a beam. There is no difference. There's the pin joint, there's the expansion joint, it's all the same. All right, so we have a shaft, we have a beam, we don't care. So for this problem, if we look at what the problem says, find the shear and the bending moment, okay, as a function of x. So we're going to go down the beam. So this will be 0, this will be 18 at the end. All right, and it says find the maximum bending moment in location. So on an exam, this is what I'm going to ask you. All right. Plot the shear, plot the bending moment, find the maximum, and find where the bending moment is maximized. That's the standard question. All right. So here's our free body diagram and our supports. Uh, it doesn't merit a lot of discussion. So 6 feet, so we have 600 pounds per foot, so there's 600 pounds, 3 feet, that adds up to 6. At A, there's a support. There are no forces in the X, so we don't have to worry about that here. Here we went 3 feet, had a 600-pound point load. Then we went 3 feet more, and then to get to the center of this one, we'll go 3 feet further. So that's 6 feet here for this 600-pound load, 3 feet, and then here we have the sleeve bearing doing its support. We sum the moments at A. That's given here. Bending moment is 450 pounds. This is now all very straightforward rigid body equilibrium. I'm not going to waste time on it. Summing forces in the Y, you would come up with AY is then summing this 1,350 pounds. It deserves no further discussion. All right. Now, on these problems, we said there's a process. Free body diagram. Figure out the supports. We've done that. The next thing we want to do is figuring out what's happening at these ends in terms of shear and bending moment. That's the next thing. Left end, right end. Let's knock them off. So here, all right, so you notice what I've done here, epsilon. Epsilon means really, 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 really small. So I have up at the top here, I'll bring that back down. 100 pounds per foot, epsilon distance. So that's 0. So I have no load, no moments being applied. So what's the shear and bending moment here? What does it take to equalize all that? 0, 0. So let's see, we're in pounds. Pound, foot, or foot, pounds. Done. Now let's go to our sleeve bearing. So we found out that the support, and the way you do this is you just put it on the outer edge. Okay, treat the bearing as if it's just very, very thin. Okay, so I'll put the support at the outer edge, and then here I have my load of 100 epsilon, which is functionally 0. And then here would be my positive bending moment, or positive bending moment pitching the top, and positive shear taking it clockwise. There's the free body diagram. Sum the forces. This is going up. Ooh, what do we see? We don't need this to go up. That needs to go down. So this is visually obvious that that's minus 450 pounds. That one we know goes up, so it says the shear has to go down. That would be a negative shear. All right. Now, since this is impossibly small, if I sum the moments right here at this edge right there, this force times that distance is functionally 0. So there's nothing there. Therefore, the bending moment I need is 0. So I have minus 450 and 0. So those are done. That was the first. So we took care of our supports. Now we take care of our ends. The next step is we just toss them on our drawing. So here's the drawing. And you'll see I have shear starts at 0, and I've drawn the end line at minus 450. I'm all set. Bending moment starts at 0, ends at 0. We're all set to go. All right. So what we do now is to finish this problem, I'm just going to do what I call walking the beam. So let's just bring this down a tad. And so let's walk the beam. So here's the picture of the beam. And what it shows me is I have a uniform distributed load. So I'm losing 600 pounds over 6 feet. Let's make that happen. So here's the 6 line. I'm just going to do a little dotted line here. All right, here's the minus 600. And I'm just going to draw that in. And there it is. Okay. And I'm just going to walk all the way across. So when I get over to the beam, that's AY, that's 1,350 pounds. So I'm at minus 600, and I'm going to cross this force, which is going up. So that says go up 1,350 in an instant. So I go up 1,350 in an instant. There I am. Now I go over 3 feet, and what forces do I see? If I saw a force go up, I'd go up. If I see a force go down, I'd go down. If I don't see a force go anywhere, oh, that's okay. Let me just do a dotted line to maintain all my alignment. So for 3 feet, I don't go up or down. Just carry it across. There, all set. Now, now I'm over to here and I hit 600 pounds. Ah, no problem. So let's see, that's 250, 500. So let's see, if that's 250, I need 150. That's right about in here. So we'll drop 600 pounds. Done. All right. Now, let's see what we have. I'm going to go, I just went to here. Now I have, as I go the next 3 feet, I see nothing. Okay. Boom. I go straight across at 300 pound, at 150. So right here I'm at 150. There was at 750. I'm just noting it as I go to keep track of what I'm doing. And now I'm at 150 and I've hit this point and I hit 600 pounds over 6 feet. Drop that. 150 minus 600 is minus 450. Boom. All right. Now I'm going to need to integrate this to do this one. So I need to do a little work here. I need to know where this goes up, because what's going to be happening is this is positive area, so this is going to be going up, and here's where it's going to crest and then start going back down. So I need this point. All right, so I need the equation of this line. So it starts at 150. So shear here starts at 150. All right, easily done. And the slope is just the bending moment. So minus 100x. I'll set that equal to 0 and solve, and I get x equals 1.5. So from here, 1.5 over takes me to 13.5. Now I'll note you could have done this, not crowning this as a new 0. You could have said as well, b of x equals 150 minus 100, and then you could have had x minus 12 in here. And then x, if you solve that, you get x equals 13.5. Whatever works for you. All right, so now we've done this. Now we're going to go down here and do this one. So let's see, what's the area here? 6 times 600 is 3,600, divided by 2 is 1,800. So let's just line ourselves up here and go across. This is 16, 2,000, so 1,800 is in the middle. And there we are. And so let's see this. We're integrating this. Therefore, this is the slope of this. This starts at 0 slope. So I'll put in a 0 slope thing there. And then just do what, take some artistic license and do that. Okay? And if you want more accurate, get a computer. That's just my general view of the world. All right, so we're now down at minus 1,800. So that's the initial condition for the next region. So I have 750 times 3. That's 2,250. All right, that's at minus 1,800. That says I got to go up to 450. So let's see, if that's 605, that's right about there. 450. Bam. It's all uniform. So I'm just picking up area equally as I go across. So that's a straight line. I'm up to 450. Great. Now I have 150 times 3. Well, that's 450. Well, that takes me to 900. Let's see, if that's there, that's about 900. That's right about there. So I'm at 900 foot-pounds. Okay, and let's just staying aligned. So we'll just go over to here. And so we're going to go up a little bit, and then we're going to drop, and we hope we land right there. Okay, I'm just going to follow my 900 line over for myself, like so. All right, I need to see how much area is in here. Well, I know this, so this is 150 up. So let's call that A1, and that will be A2. So A1 is 150, right, times 1.5, divide by 2. All right, that works out to be 112.5. So if I add that, 112.5 would take me to 1,012. And let's see, where is that roughly? I'll estimate that's about there. So that's the 0, so I come across, and then this slope will match that slope, so I come up at this slope, and then level it off. See, I'm matching slopes here, because this is the derivative of that. All right, now I need A2. Okay, what's A2? Well, A2 is going to drop to 450. And this is negative area, but I don't need to bring the negative sign along per se. 13.5 to 18. Well, that's 4.5 there. Divide by 2, use a calculator, and guess what? 1012.5. So I'll give this just, and so the slope is getting greater as we go. And there's my artistic interpretation of that. I matched at the end. So the problem said, give me the shear and bending moment. Got it. Then it said, give me the location of the maximum bending moment. So to finish the problem, max MB equals 1012.5 foot-pounds at 13.5 feet. That's there and there. And this problem is done. We'll keep doing more.